Right, buenos dias.
Buenos días.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Good morning, Germantown. Where are my Germantown folks at? I'm not gonna go to the cities. Where's District 39 at? Awesome. All right, y'all. Good morning, Montgomery County. Happy June. Happy Pride Month. That's right. Happy Immigrant Heritage Month. It is my absolute pleasure to get this CASA in Action press conference kicked off. My name is Alex Vasquez. I'm the Director of Organizing at CASA in Action. And I'm extremely proud to be standing here today with CASA in Action members, partners, and community leaders from Montgomery County's 39th Legislative District supporting a candidate who is bold, who is fearless, and grounded in community, and that person is Amar Mukunda. Give it up for him. Just a fun fact, when I first moved to Montgomery County, District 39 was the first place I moved to. And just like this campaign has special connections to this transit stop, I remember taking the bus also when I first came here, the 74, but still running. So it's a full circle moment for me as well. I also want to recognize some powerful organizations who are standing here with us today. Let's give it up for Progressive Maryland. We're New American Leaders Action Fund. Give it up, make some noise. Let's hear it for South Asians for America. And I'm not sure if he's here yet, but today joining us, we have our longtime champion from the Maryland General Assembly, Vice Chair of the Legislative Latino Caucus, Delegate Gabe Acevero, who will be speaking with us today. So for those who don't know, CASA in Action organizes Black, Latina, Afro-descendant, Indigenous, and immigrant voters throughout the country, who alongside our members play a powerful role in electing progressive change leaders who can truly deliver the justice our members and community at large seek nationwide. We support candidates who our people in our communities deserve. Candidates who have a bold vision for what the future can look like. Candidates like Amar. That's right. People who will fight for justice in Annapolis, who will champion priorities in the legislature and ensuring that we are not reactive but proactive on a lot of these issues. Am I right?
Yes!
Candidates who believe that in order to be a prosperous Maryland, working class families must be listened to, immigrant communities must have a seat at the table and be part of the co-governing process. Again, candidates like Amar Mukunda. A candidate who earns the Black, Latina, Asian, and working class vote for communities like District 39. And Amar is that candidate. A progressive leader who is looking to innovate and is capable of innovation. Born in Montgomery County to Pakistani and Indian parents, Amar's story is a story of so many families in District 39. A person who has witnessed how the American dream can be achieved and how systematic anti-worker policies can also dismantle and prevent that achievement. He comes from a family that came here, like so many of us standing here today, comes from a family that came here seeking opportunity, dignity, respect, and a chance to build a better life and future for themselves. He doesn't just know about immigrant and working class communities, he knows the immigrant and working class struggle. Now, we all know that Amar is a newbie, right? He's a rookie, he is a challenger, but only when it comes to this thing that they call the political candidate for office, right? And Amar is no newbie, though, to the work that changes lives. He's no rookie to understanding the issues faced by our families, and he for sure is stepping up to the challenge in this moment to create a more inclusive Maryland State Senate. Now, we're going to hear from a lot of people today in terms of why Amar is a choice. But I want to challenge us to continue taking action and doing everything in our power to ensure that Amar gets across the finish line. Y'all, we have what, 22 days? We have 22 days left to rally, right? And we need to be doing everything and anything in our power to ensure that once again, Amar becomes District 39's next Maryland State Senate. Am I right? Now, I want to kick off today's speaking program with a Casa in Action member, right? A Casa in Action member who has been living in the heart of District 39 for the last 20 years. And I want you all to give a nice big welcome to Mukunda Reyes.
Amar presente. Amar presente. Amar presente. Presente.
Mi nombre es Guacolda Reyes y soy residente del último parque de casas móviles que queda en Germantown, el corazón del distrito 39. Tengo 20 años y estoy orgullosa de emitir mi voto en estas elecciones.
Good morning, my name is Mukunda Reyes and I am a resident of the last remaining mobile home park in Germantown, the heart of District 39. I have lived here for the last 20 years and I'm proud to cast my vote in this election.
Estoy orgullosa de estar aquí hoy con mi futuro senador, Amar Mukunda.
And I am proud to be standing here with my future Senator, Amar Mukunda.
Necesitamos líderes como Amar que se presentan para personas como yo, mi familia y mi comunidad. Por eso lo estoy apoyando.
That's right. We need leaders like Amar who show up for people like me and my family and community. That's why I'm supporting him.
Hoy quiero contarte un poco de mi historia, pero esto no es solo mi historia. Es la historia de muchas personas mayores, emigrantes y personas con discapacidad en todo Maryland que luchan por mantenerse en su casa, mantenerse saludables y envejecer con dignidad.
Today I want to share with you a little bit about my story, but that it's not just my story. It is a story of many seniors, immigrants, and people with disabilities across Maryland who are struggling to stay housed, stay healthy, and age with dignity.
Hace unos años, antes de que mi marido falleciera, tuvimos el simple sueño, después de trabajar toda nuestra vida, pagar la seguridad social y ahorrar lo que pudimos. Queríamos un lugar al que llamar hogar para nuestra jubilación.
A few years ago, before my husband passed away, we had a simple dream. After working our entire lives, paying into Social Security, and saving what we could, we wanted a place to call home for our retirement.
Como mucha gente, encontramos esa oportunidad en esta casa móvil. Era asequible, era nuestro, representaba el futuro por el cual habíamos trabajado.
And like many people, we found that opportunity in a mobile home. It was affordable, it was ours, and it represented the future we had worked for.
Pero la vida cambió. Después de desarrollar una incapacidad física, me vi obligada a dejar de trabajar, confiando en la seguridad social y la asistencia estatal para llegar a fin de mes. Hoy me entero y me enfrento a la posibilidad de tener que vender mi casa. Sin embargo, hacerlo podría amenazar mis beneficios y la cobertura de atención médica.
And after developing life changed. After developing a physical disability, I was forced to stop working, relying on Social Security and state assistance to make ends meet. Today, I face the possibility of having to sell my home, yet doing so could threaten the benefits and healthcare coverage I rely on simply because on paper it may appear that I make too much money.
Imagínense, eso soy mayor de 77 años. Gano al mes $1,227.
So imagine this. I am a youthful 77 years young.
Woo!
And I only win, or I only get from Social Security about roughly $1,200 a month.
Después de una vida de trabajo, puede que me obliguen a elegir entre tener atención médica y tener un hogar.
And after working my entire life, I must choose between having dignified housing or having healthcare benefits.
Hoy estoy apoyando a Amar.
And today I am supporting Amar.
Porque nunca le va a dar la espalda a los mayores.
Because he will never turn his back on the senior community.
Porque él cree en la atención médica para todos, no algunos de nosotros.
Because he believes that healthcare is a human right and healthcare should be accessible for all, not just a few.
Porque quiere que la gente que se queda en sus casas y asegurarse de que la gente tenga vivienda asequible en el distrito 39.
Because he wants everyone to have dignified and affordable housing for anyone that wants to call District 39 their home.
Porque él cree que no importa cuáles sean sus antecedentes o de dónde vengan, todos merecemos vivir dignamente.
Regardless of your background, what race you are, he believes that we all should deserve a life full of dignity.
Porque él lucha por nosotros.
Because he fights for all of us.
Por eso estoy orgullosa de estar en el lado de mis compañeros y miembros de casa en acciones en el apoyo de Amar. Necesitamos líderes que aporten nuevas perspectivas, experiencia vivida. Amar tiene valor y eso es lo que necesitamos en Maryland ahora mismo.
And that's why I'm proud to stand here with my Casa in Action members and colleagues, right? To support Amar, because we need leaders with new ideas, with fresh perspectives, with new leadership. Amar has the courage, and this is what we need in Maryland to meet the moment right now.
Porque todos los habitantes de Maryland merecen la oportunidad de envejecer con dignidad, vivir con seguridad y saber que su gobierno está trabajando para ellos antes de que ocurra una crisis.
Because finally, all Maryland residents deserve to live in peace, to live in a dignified area, live in a dignified and stable home, especially the senior communities. And we need leaders that don't wait for the crisis to happen, but proactively work to prevent it. Thank you so much, Mukunda. Give it up for Mukunda. ¡Se puede! ¡Se puede! ¡Sí se 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 puede! Awesome! All right!
Mukunda for Maryland!
Mukunda for Maryland! Mukunda for Maryland! Mukunda for Maryland! Mukunda for Maryland! Awesome! Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much for Mukunda. All right, so as we have heard, District 39 is home for many people in walks of life, right? And we want to make sure that Mukunda is able to live out, right, and remain in District 39 where she belongs. Is that right? Yeah! All right, up next, next you will hear from Shamali, right? Because we cannot do this work alone. It takes a village to get grassroots progressive candidates into this office. And Casa in Action is partnering and is proud to stand here and partner with South Asians for America and our strong support for Amar. So give it up for Shamali.
Hi, I'm Shamali Hout with South Asians for America, which is the largest national grassroots all-volunteer organization mobilizing the South Asian community since 2021. We have established chapters in 26 states. built coalitions with state Democratic parties, AAPI caucuses, and coalition groups, most importantly. This District 39 has one of the largest concentrations of South Asians in Maryland, and yet it has never had a South Asian representative. It also has one of the lowest voter turnouts of any district in Maryland. These two things are related. It means that the incumbent has failed to engage the diverse communities of Germantown, Gaithersburg, Montgomery Villages, and all the homes in between. We need Amar Mukunda, a son of immigrants from Pakistan and India who speaks Spanish, who centers his outreach on ensuring that he engages with every community. He will not say that confronting ICE terror is a low priority for him because he's busy with the budget. He has the energy to tackle school, utility bills, the cost of housing, and the safety of diverse communities in the face of Trump's assault. That's the kind of leadership that District 39 deserves. That's the kind of leadership that Maryland deserves. That's the kind of leadership that our communities deserve. And that is why, as a National Endorsements Director for South Asians for America, I am proud to stand here today with Amar Mukunda, our South-endorsed candidate, alongside all of these fantastic coalition groups to show our combined support for Amar Mukunda for Senate.
Awesome, y'all. Give it up one more time for Shamali. All right, next up, I want to bring another District 39 resident. Let's give it up for Yaya.
Now, what is it, afternoon or morning? How are you guys doing? Wonderful. My name is Yaya Dabo from Gaithersburg, Maryland, and where I live with my wife and 3 kids, and I've lived there for over 20 years now. First, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak alongside all these wonderful people. You're here because you care about what's going on in the country, and you are worried about the direction the country is going. Your participation and engagement to friends, family, and neighbors to participate will make a difference in these coming elections. We need to elect good people who are truly willing to speak and act on behalf of their constituents. America is a nation of immigrants that came here to find native Indians who welcomed our first settlers. Eventually, many other people from all over the world came to look for better and freer lives. These immigrants have contributed immensely to the growth and opportunity and prosperity of this nation, so we should celebrate this instead of being afraid of it. America and Americans are a people with resilience and confidence. Therefore, we should embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion because these make us stronger and more prosperous country. The work CASA in Action is doing in the region and especially in Maryland is invaluable. We need to work to engage all people in our communities to get involved in the political process. Minority political participation is quite low. This is one of the reasons why politicians take us for granted. When we engage and go to the polls and engage in public policy debates, our voices will go far and beyond. This is the only way we can get our agenda priorities addressed by politicians who represent us. It's the only way we will really start to tackle issues like housing affordability and rental protections. If we don't participate, the will or the agendas of those who participate will become the priorities of politicians they vote into office. Increased voter participation allows for majority interest to become top priorities for our public policy and not just a narrow interest. And to be frank, I have voted for Nancy King in the past, but I cannot vote for her again. I cannot vote for an established politician who lets vital community protections stall in Annapolis for years while our communities pay for the price. I cannot vote for someone who takes money from corporations and lobbies, putting profits ahead of the everyday people she was elected to represent. I got to know Amar Mukunda through my wife, who met him while he was door knocking in our neighborhood. She talked to him a couple of times and introduced us because he knows how much I love politics. We had since been in touch several times, and I volunteered and will continue to volunteer in his campaign until election day. I have come to know him as a dedicated and fierce advocate for the interests of the constituents he wants to represent in the state senate. He knows the issues that people care about. He knows the difficulties people are going through. He knows it will take innovation and to bring development and better opportunities for the people in his community. He understands that it will take bold and new thinking to resolve these issues, and he's not afraid to listen and come up with novel ideas. I promise that if we vote for him to the state senate, he will deliver by working with other representatives to bring common sense solutions to our problems.
Mukunda for Maryland!
Mukunda for Maryland! Mukunda for Maryland! Please come out and vote massively for Amar Mukunda in the primary on June 23rd. And those of you who are going to vote absentee, fill out your absentee ballots as quickly as possible and make sure you vote for Amar Mukunda. Maryland, Mukunda for Maryland, Mukunda for Maryland, Mukunda for Maryland. Of course, we need new ideas and bold ideas to bring the change we need. And I thank you all for your time and your attention.
Give it up for Yaya one more time. Vinu Pavan. Vinu Pavan. Awesome. All right, y'all. I want to now bring up our next speaker. Okay. Come on up. Make your way. Yeah. I want to now introduce our next speaker. Joining us right from Annapolis, the Vice Chair of the Legislative Latino Caucus from District 39. Give it up for Delegate Gabriel Acevedo, one of the most outspoken leaders and fighters for justice in the Maryland General Assembly.
All right. I am where you are in my head. Good to see you. Good evening, everyone. Oui, nous pouvons. Si se puede. Awesome. As was mentioned, I'm Delegate Gabriel Acevedo, and I am proud to represent District 39 in the Maryland House of Delegates, and I have been since 2018. And I'm really, really proud to have been not just endorsed by CASA once, twice, but 3 times. CASA in Action has been a partner, not just in political organizing, but making sure that we deliver for immigrant communities. And so I am always happy to stand alongside fighters for immigrant community. And that's exactly why I'm here today, to join many of you all across our district. That includes the communities of Gaithersburg, Montgomery Village, Germantown, Clarksburg, and Washington Grove. I know you know that very well, Yaya. Right. But also to be joined here by fighters who themselves are immigrants and new Americans who are running for the first time for public office folks like Dr. George Luberis, who is here with us running for the Maryland House of Delegates in District 39, Dominicano. We got to give it up for new Americans, right? Immigrants, we get the job done, am I right? And so I am proud to be here, not just as an immigrant from Trinidad and Tobago, but someone who is proud of his Hispanic heritage. My family is from Venezuela. Give it up for, all of my Venezuelan people who are not just residents of District 39, but our county. And so we're here today because we need champions in our state Senate for working people and for immigrant communities. And what we have right now just does not cut it. What we have right now in terms of representation falls short of what our communities deserve. Nancy King has been the state senator for this district and has not showed up. We've barely seen her in our communities. And when it comes to the issues that are important to us, she has time and again not been a bridge, but rather a barrier to our communities getting what they need. She has not delivered. And most folks that you've spoken to probably don't even know who she is. And they don't, because it shows someone who is not just entrenched, someone who's establishment, but someone who is out of touch. We don't need representation that is out of touch with our communities. We need representation that is responsive. Leadership that recognizes that communities that are impacted should be centered in our public policy making. But it also means that leadership should reflect the diverse community, and District 39 is in fact one of the most diverse districts in our state, and I'm proud of that. But we have not seen that diversity in the representation that we have right now. When I ran in 2018 for the first time, I was not just embraced by the community, but I saw the responses that folks had when you have a working class, when you have a leader who listens and someone who is as diverse as the district is. And not only was I elected in 2018, but I was re-elected in 2022, and I understand this district because each and every single day I hear the concerns, but I don't see the people who are currently representing showing up at all. Nancy King has not delivered. She has not delivered for our communities, and she has not delivered for District 39, and we can do better, am I right?
Yeah!
We not only deserve better, we can do better. And so I think Yaya did an excellent job in explaining why it is that we need new leadership. One that shows up and listens. And so I am proud to not just be running with folks like Dr. George Luberis, who's running for the House of Delegates in District 39, along with myself and Amar, but to ensure that we get not just immigrants, but children of immigrants elected to public office, because we understand what immigrants have to go through in this country and what we do to contribute and how we build while yet being demonized. But we are here to say that we are part of this American democracy, and our children will be a part of it as well. And Amar is a son of immigrants, right? Let's give it up. And what he understands is that we need folks who will fight for our communities, especially in this time. I've been proud to fight in the House, but we need partners in the state Senate, because while we pass important legislation in the House, we've seen how things like ending the 287G ban can be held in the Senate because of people like Nancy King. That is failure of leadership, fundamentally failing our communities, and we deserve better, we want better, and we're gonna get better on June 23rd, am I right? So we have to show up, and we gotta make sure as we're door knocking down the ballot. We're getting leadership that represents and comes from our communities and will fight for our communities and not against our interests. That is important. And so I am proud to be here to fight for not just a District 39 that represents working class people, but sees new leadership. And that's what we need, new leadership. Say new leadership.
New leadership.
And we know that, and we're going to make sure that we help deliver that by knocking on doors, by showing up during early voting and showing up on June 23rd to elect not just myself, but also good people like Dr. George Luberis, and in the state Senate, who we're going to elect? Who we're going to elect? Exactly. And so we got to make sure we're showing up. This is about immigrant communities. This is about District 39, and this is our moment. And if anything, if there's the best person who has been like literally showing up time again, just a beautiful soul, can we give it up for Amar's parents, who I'm sure you all have met. I mean, some damn good campaigners. But yes, let's give it up. You know, immigrants, we know, and we definitely instill in our kids the values that many of us bring to this country and why it is that we moved here. So let's go ahead and help elect more immigrants and children of immigrants to positions of power so that we stop having the kind of representation we have right now, which is a failure, which falls short of what we need. So can we give it up for someone who will do exactly that and who will raise the bar, and his name just so happens to rhyme with raising the bar, and it's
Amar!
Right.
Give it up one more time for Delegate Gabriel Severo. All right, folks. And finally, the candidate we've all been waiting for. As you have heard over and over again, Amar is a candidate that will bring fight and justice for families living in Germantown, Clarksburg, Gaithersburg, Downstown, Montgomery Village, Redland, and all across District 39. And that is why CASA in Action believes that Amar is a candidate who will truly be a champion of justice and be a critical voice that we need in this moment and beyond for State Senate of Maryland. And it is now my pleasure to welcome our next State Senator for District 39, Amar Mukunda.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, CASA. Thank you, SAFA. Thank you to my mom and dad. Thank you to my sister. Thank you to my family. Thank you to Delegate Gabriel Severo and Dr. George Luberis. It has been an honor to campaign with you for the last 8 months, knocking on doors, making phone calls, showing up in our community the way Gabe has been doing for years, but too often our leadership has not been doing. I want to start off by talking a little bit about my family's story. We've heard today that my parents are immigrants from India and Pakistan. My parents came here seeking the American dream. My dad came here as a child. His father worked on the Indian Rail and came to Maryland to work on the Red Line and on Baltimore Metro. Our family has helped build this county and this state in the most important ways. My mom came here after fleeing not just one war between India and Pakistan, but fleeing a war between East and West Pakistan. She came here after living in Calcutta, after living in Dhaka, after living in Karachi. Our story is not just tied to the Indian subcontinent. My mom's family, my mom's grandparents, all lived in East Africa, in Kenya, Tanzania, like so many Indian families have. My dad has worked most of my life growing up in Colombia, in Bogota. Our story is the story of Montgomery County. We come from every part of the world. We practice every religion in the world. But it is not just about diversity. It is about values. When I was growing up, our family lost everything we had when I was about 9 years old. My parents' company went bankrupt. We lost our home. We lost everything. We spent the next 8 years of my life bouncing around from home to home. But a long lost relative, not even really a relative, a family friend of my mom's from Pakistan, took us all in rent-free for 3 years. Think about that. That is showing up. That is what this community is about. It is about people who will be there for each other no matter what. That is the story of my life. That is what has allowed me to get to this point. I borrowed every penny of my college tuition from a man who is here today. Not somebody in my family, somebody who's not related to us, somebody who is just part of our community, who decided that giving opportunity to somebody who was working hard was important. That is what District 39 is about. That is what immigrant families are about. That is what we have always done, is show up for each other and take care of each other no matter what. So I am running for the state senate because today we need a government and we need leadership that lives and breathes those values, that will stand up for immigrant families no matter what. We have had people in office who waited years to protect our communities from ICE and only chose to act when they had a primary challenge, only chose to act when it was an election year. Is that showing up?
No!
Is that what our immigrant communities need?
No!
I don't think so. We have heard today about the difference between proactive leadership and reactive leadership. Today we are facing climate change. We're facing AI and data centers. We're facing a rising cost of living. We're facing corporate and lobbyist money that is doing everything it can to buy our political system and make our lives impossible. We need leaders who are going to take that problem by the horns, not wait to react.
Woo!
I'm gonna get a little bit boring here for a second. I want to talk a little bit about healthcare. I want to talk a little bit about healthcare policy because this is a perfect example of the problems that our communities face. We have leaders in office who take money from utility companies. And then we wonder why our utility bills are going through the roof. If we keep doing the same thing, what do we expect the result is going to be? We keep hearing that, oh, we're going to act, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. These are the same folks that created the problem. These are the same folks that were bought by the utility companies and created the problem. When we look at healthcare, we are being told that we do not have enough money to care for every single person in our community. That is a lie. That is a lie. There has been so much important research done that shows that the state of Maryland could save $500 million a year just by reforming Medicaid. Think about that for a second. We have a budget crisis where we're not funding our schools. We have a budget crisis where we are cutting funding for disabled Marylanders. And we're being told there's no money left, we can't solve it, we can't do it. But if we reform our Medicaid system to get people over profits, to cut out the big donors like United Healthcare and Blue Cross Blue Shield and build a healthcare system that works for all of us, there is $500 million there. That is our money. If we elect people who are taking contributions from United Healthcare, from MCO lobbyists, what is it that we expect we're gonna get? This is the choice in this election. We have an opportunity to rebuild our democracy from the ground up. We all see what is happening. We all see the Trump administration. We all see the rising cost of living. What I'm here to say is this: let us focus on the local government and state government. Let us focus on what we can achieve here in District 39 and in Maryland. We can rebuild our democracy from the ground up. We can get corporate and lobbyist money out of our politics. We can enact universal health care for every single Marylander. Because when we are in this together, we are stronger. Our healthcare system will only work if it delivers for everybody. If we choose to divide ourselves and say, we get care, you don't get care, our healthcare system will never work. It is the perfect example of collective action. We can only work together to build a great healthcare system. We will either sink together or we will swim together, and healthcare is the battle line. So let's build a healthcare system that works for all of us. Let's do everything we possibly can to stop ICE in our state, to keep our immigrant communities safe, to never allow big detention centers to be built in Maryland ever again, and to make sure that we elect new leadership, that we return Delegate Gabriel Acevedo to office, that we bring Dr. George Uberis into the State House, that we have a state Senate that is proactive instead of reactive, and that we work for a better Maryland for every single one of us. Thank you, CASA. Thank you, Progressive Maryland. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Safa. Thank you to my family, and thank you to everyone who showed up. Let's go win this thing.
Amar, 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 Amar. Let's give it up one more time for our future senator for District 39. All right, folks, that concludes our event, but what we're going to do is we're going to take this podium out of the way and we're going to take one